Welcome agents, quite a few things to go over in today's video. A lot of new changes and additions being added and found in the PTS, like a new enemy archetype, global event news, new specialization skill and more. If you enjoy this one, please hit the like button below, subscribe for dedicated Division 2 content, and let's jump right into this one. Okay, so first and foremost, all of the things in this video have been taken from people who are playing the PTS, circulating this information on forums like Reddit and the Ubi forums. I've not been able to play the PTS myself because I'm on console, but it doesn't really matter too much because I just want to share everything with you guys so you're fully up to speed on what could be coming in TU6 or in future updates. So let's start. So the first thing are Guardians. Okay, so on screen you're going to see a screenshot from a new tutorial on the PTS about Guardians. From left to right it says, new defensive measures are being employed by enemy forces across DC. Each enemy fire team will feature one or more Guardians. Guardians protect all other members of their fire team, making them immune to damage. Eliminating the Guardian removes the immunity they grant to their fire team, shocking hostiles in the fire team and leaving them vulnerable to your attacks. As well as leaving the enemy vulnerable, the Guardian's power will be transferred temporarily to you, granting you increased weapon damage, rate of fire and reload speed, as well as replenishing any depleted armor. Essentially, you become the most powerful agent known to man at that point. So immediately, I can't help but reference Destiny with this. Firstly, they're called Guardians, and secondly, this feature exists in Destiny and among other games. Overall though, I'm actually pretty happy with this new addition to each faction. Up until now, you've mainly just had to focus on healers, which can be a bit of a pain to be honest. They kind of just sit in cover. But this gives another layer to difficult content. We haven't just got healers to worry about. Actually, you've probably got to focus on the Guardians more now because they make everyone immune. So you need to take them out first, then probably the healers, and then the remainder of the NPCs. What I wouldn't like to see is these Guardians sit at the back of the map behind, a fortress of NPCs and warhounds, because that will just become quickly frustrating. I suspect the devs have found a way to balance these new Guardians properly. And what I hope and what I think will probably happen is these Guardians won't be overly difficult to kill in respect of damage, but they're going to be probably quite fast and they're probably going to be quite hard to hit. But with that sort of ability where they can keep everything alive, they should be pretty squishy. But I cannot wait to step into war on Mars. Next up, and global events are coming back. On screen you're going to see a snapshot of what's to come, and as it says from, again, left to right, global events are optional timed events that feature a unique gameplay modifier. Each global event will require agents to opt in to get this modifier. Once you've opted in, you will have access to daily challenges and reward tiers. Completing daily challenges moves you to a higher reward tier. Once a reward tier is complete, you can claim any rewards you have earned. So unlike the global events for the Division 1, it does appear that the rewards are going to work differently here. In the Division 1, it was all about where you placed on a leaderboard in comparison to everyone else, which can actually be a real pain because hackers just used to exploit this to always finish top, directly affecting the experience of others who may have been pushed out of that top bracket because of those hackers. Now this time around, it looks like that won't happen, and instead rewards are tied to daily challenges, meaning that it's just in your control with how many tiers you climb and the rewards that you get. This is how I'm reading it, and that's, again, it's a really positive change that encourages people to actually do these challenges, as long as the rewards are worth it, of course. If we're going to just get a cache with purple drops, then people aren't going to bother. I also like that this time around it will have an opt-in feature. I'm pretty sure in the Division that was not the case and the modifier would just apply to the whole open world. Don't quote me on that because I can't quite remember, my memory isn't that good. Overall though, this seems to be much more user-friendly, and I think it's about time we got these going, to be honest. So massive, just hurry up, get these global events out going straight away, and let's get some good rewards on the table as well. I want to see, vanity stuff, maybe some unique rewards would be a cool idea. Moving on, and who remembers the first Expedition? That new temporary PvE experience. Well, Expeditions was removed because it essentially had no replayability due to the fact it was released without the mastery system. Now on screen is another screenshot, and we've got a lot of these in this video, showing the mastery system, and this is what it says, again, from left to right. Mastery challenges are now unlocked. Replay and complete each area within the time limits to earn additional rewards. Gameplay modifiers are active during mastery challenges. There are normal, hard and challenging masteries which are linked to difficulty levels. So from this, I'm getting kind of an underground vibe from the Division 1 with modifiers that directly affect the difficulty of each run and provide rewards for doing so, except the first expedition we got wasn't quite as fun as the underground was. With that said, I think the mastery system could create some interesting competition within the PvE community, and it's got me interested because I really enjoyed underground from the Division 1, so if it's anything like that, then I'm probably going to enjoy this. Like everywhere else though, it's got rewards tied to it. They just have to be worth it. I think there should be expedition unique rewards, PvP unique rewards, global event unique rewards, and so on. I think this will give everyone an incentive to play through this content because there's some unique tied to it. If the devs just give you an extra cash or something, well, I can get that from playing Conflict for 5 minutes. There needs to be an incentive, so I implore the devs to do this before releasing this content. Don't do what they did with Expeditions and release it unfinished. Make sure that they finish this stuff and they make sure it's got a reason to play it. With the first one, we got the diamond back, fair enough. But it would be nice to have some unique rewards tied to every different activity, and that would encourage people to do that sort of stuff. So let's hope that with Mastery and with Expeditions, that continues on where we get these unique rewards. That would be really, really cool. And the same should apply for all new content coming in the future. Moving on, and on the PTS, it's been confirmed with this video on screen that you will be able to change the difficulty modifiers now, instead of just changing the type of enemies you want to shoot at in the shooting range. These are shooting range modifiers, and I think they're a really positive quality of life change. On top of that, you can also heal yourself, and more importantly, you can interact with a button that does damage to you. Now this is a huge step in the right direction. The shooting range will now show you what sort of damage you're doing against some of the hardest content, but also how much damage you're actually taking or can take. I would personally like to see the devs include, a raid modifier on this, or at least a damage or difficulty equivalent on this as well, so that people can test their builds here as well. Overall though, these are really great quality of life changes, not included in the patch notes, but very important to the overall experience of the game. I will likely be using the shooting range more with these additions, especially the addition of how much damage I can take. Next up, and a new extension to the White House has been found on the PTS. On screen are 2 images of the room. A short video was actually released of the room yesterday, but I cannot seem to find it now. But essentially, it's a room with this machine in the middle. That kind of reminds me of the water tank Wolverine was put in when filling his body with adamantium. So if Wolverine is coming to the Division 2 as some sort of boss, then cool. But honestly, it's likely got something to do with Episode 2 and the Pentagon. And do you know what? It kind of reminds me of a room for antivirals, and it gives me that sort of waiting room vibe for survival from the Division. And I know I'm reaching here, I'm definitely clutching at straws, but it just got that feel for me. And it looks cool. We'll just have to wait and see what it is, because I just can't wait. I'm just hoping if it's survival, then I'm going to be happy for the remainder of this game, as simple as that. Moving on, and here's an interesting one, guys. A Reddit post from The Soldier showcased this image labeling this new type of enemy as a loot runner or loot goblin. Now that's not been confirmed as their official name, but this is definitely a new enemy type. The Soldier said this in the post: he's armed only with a pistol and tries to run away from the player, but is guaranteed to drop loot for the player, similar to the open world tank encounters. They only appear at nighttime hours, at least in the 2 times I stumbled into these scavengers. The first time I found him, I was flabbergasted, it's a long, hard word, at what I just killed, and neglected to record the encounter or the items he dropped. But I was more alert the second time around and managed to capture the scene during the early hours of the morning. Now the post goes on to say that this loot runner or loot goblin only drops 1 high-end item, which is not a great reward for what appears to be a fairly rare encounter. As the Soldier states, it could be that these drop name gear in the future, we don't know. But if they are this rare, they should have something tied to them. Have any of you guys ever encountered these in the actual game as it is, not on the PTS? Because I know that I haven't, but it would be good to see if anyone has seen this enemy before, just to confirm if this is actually a new type of enemy or not. Last but not least, a new Hive skill has been found. Here's a screenshot of the new skill circulating on Reddit. In English, it's called Technician, and as you can see from the description of the skill, it says, the Technician sends out micro-electro booster drones that expend themselves to increase allied skills efficiency and refresh their duration. This is of course a very skill-focused skill and looks to be pretty useful off the bat. It's likely that this new skill is part of the next specialization, so it could be hinting at a very skill-focused specialization coming up. I think that we're going to get some sort of healer specialization with TU6, and I think that might be a good idea. And this skill is definitely intended for group play. So whatever the new specialization is, it will have to focus on group play, which is really exciting. Even though I rarely play in a group, it's really exciting for anyone that does. It appears to me that this is going to be good in squads, and I imagine the new specialization is going to be for that same reason as well. What it is, we don't know yet, although I will say someone did leak Summer on Reddit earlier about specializations and he got removed. I don't know whether Summer's been found or not. If Summer does come up, guys, then I'll let you guys know. Right, everyone, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy this one, and thank you very much if you stuck around until the end. There's actually more here, and I've got more notes about more new changes and additions and all that sort of stuff, but this video is already getting quite long, and I'll probably make a separate video addressing some of the other stuff that's in the game. It's all positive in my opinion. This is all very good news, so really looking forward to the update as of right now. Thank you very much for watching again, and until the next one, guys, epic out.